I apologize for not being entirely honest with you. I apologize for not revealing my true feelings.
Imagine winning an Oscar and then directing your father to win one too. That's exactly what this Hollywood legend did, making history as the first father-son duo to win Academy Awards for the same film. Who were they? Let's find out. Number 45. John Barrymore and John Drew Barrymore.
Blur in the mind, to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
What happens when a Hollywood icon's son rebels against the system? John Barrymore, often called the Great Profile, was one of the most celebrated actors of the silent film era. His elegance, his stage presence, he had it all. But his son, John Drew Barrymore, had a different story. Unlike his father, who was revered in Hollywood, John Drew was known for his wild, self-destructive behavior. His battles with alcohol and legal troubles kept him away from the limelight. His rebellious streak made him the black sheep of the Barrymore acting dynasty. His estranged daughter, Drew Barrymore, later said, "He was never really there. I never knew my father." Hollywood fame, it seems, doesn't always come with family unity. Number 44. Errol Flynn and Sean Flynn.
Publicity agent? I can get into trouble on my own time. I need a publicity agent like...
A Hollywood prince goes missing in a real-life war zone forever. Errol Flynn was the ultimate swashbuckler, charming audiences in classics like The Adventures of Robin Hood. His son, Sean Flynn, inherited his father's striking looks but had no interest in Hollywood stardom. Instead, he chose to become a photojournalist during the Vietnam War. It was a fatal decision. In 1970, while covering the Cambodian Civil War, Sean disappeared without a trace. No one knows what happened, but he was declared dead years later. Rumors say he was captured and executed by the Khmer Rouge. A tragic fate. A Hollywood prince lost in a war zone, never to return. His story remains one of Hollywood's biggest mysteries. Number 43. Robert Taylor and Terry Taylor.
With your scholastic attainments.
Say, when they get a flash of me on the track or in a shell, they'll beg me to stay.
What if your father was a Hollywood matinee idol and you weren't? Robert Taylor, one of Hollywood's golden age heartthrobs, was the definition of a leading man. His piercing blue eyes and deep voice made women swoon. But his son, Terry Taylor, never quite followed in his footsteps. While Robert lived a glamorous life, Terry chose a quiet, private existence away from the flashing cameras. But Robert Taylor had his own controversies. He was a staunch anti-communist during the McCarthy era, even testifying against fellow actors. Many believe he blacklisted colleagues to save himself. Could this Hollywood betrayal be why Terry avoided the industry? Some say the weight of his father's actions was too much to bear. Number 42. James Stewart and Ronald Stewart.
I don't know, and I didn't know, but I must say I got a little smug about it.
When your father is America's favorite actor, how do you measure up? James Stewart was the definition of a wholesome Hollywood hero. Whether in It's a Wonderful Life or Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, he represented American values. But his son, Ronald Stewart, chose a life far from Hollywood. Unlike other celebrity kids, Ronald had zero interest in fame. He stayed out of the spotlight, living a private life while his father remained an industry icon. Why? Some say James Stewart's military service and Hollywood pressure made him a tough father to live with. Others believe Ronald simply wanted his own life. Either way, James Stewart's legendary name lived on, but not through Hollywood roles. Number 41. Anthony Quinn and Francesco Quinn.
Depending upon if they found jobs across the border, then they were allowed to stay.
When a father's success is larger than life, how do you escape the shadow? Anthony Quinn, known for playing powerful, commanding characters, was one of the most recognizable faces in film history. His son, Francesco Quinn, looked exactly like him, and Hollywood had high hopes for him. But the pressure of being Anthony Quinn's son was immense. Despite his talent, Francesco struggled to find roles that weren't just a smaller version of his father. He once said, "Hollywood only sees me as my father's son." In a tragic turn, Francesco died of a heart attack at just 48 years old, cutting short a promising career. Some say he never truly escaped the burden of his father's name. Number 40. Charlton Heston and Fraser Clark Heston.
Dreary way to make a living, Johnny. If you make your living with your waistline, you know, it's awful. I really...
The son of a Hollywood giant chooses a very different path. Charlton Heston, legendary for playing Moses in the Ten Commandments, had one of the most powerful voices in Hollywood. His commanding presence made him larger than life, but his son, Fraser Clark Heston, didn't want to act. He wanted to direct. Unlike his father, who was an outspoken NRA leader and political activist, Fraser chose a low-profile career in filmmaking. He directed films, but never reached the iconic status of his father. Still, Fraser is proud of his father's legacy, stating, "He was a force of nature. There will never be another Charlton Heston." The Heston name may not shine as bright, but its impact on Hollywood is unforgettable. Number 39. Red Skelton and Richard Skelton.
There's a big New York road show in town tonight, just one night. It's got Ed Wynn in it.
What happens when a comedian's life is touched by profound tragedy? Red Skelton, an American entertainer renowned for his national radio and television shows, was a household name in the mid-20th century. His comedic genius brought joy to millions, but his personal life was marked by profound tragedy. His son, Richard Skelton, was diagnosed with leukemia at a young age and tragically passed away at the age of 9 in 1958. This devastating loss deeply affected Red, who was known to have said, "I just want to be known as a clown because to me, that's the height of my profession. It means you can do everything, sing, dance, and above all, make people laugh." Despite his immense success, the pain of losing his son remained a poignant chapter in his life. Number 38. Jerry Lewis and Gary Lewis.
And say to them, well, you may have a point, and now you do exactly as you choose to do, but let them think you're doing it their way.
When the king of comedy's son chooses rock and roll over punchlines, what ensues? Jerry Lewis, a titan of comedy, was known for his slapstick humor and dynamic performances. His son, Gary Lewis, took a different path, diving into the world of music. As the frontman of Gary Lewis and the Playboys, Gary achieved significant success in the 1960s with hits like This Diamond Ring. Despite their individual achievements, their relationship was strained. Gary once remarked, "I was always able to separate my career from what he and I were. It bothered me that we never got along too well, but that's just the way it was, and I'm over it." The tension between their personal and professional lives added a complex layer to their father-son dynamic. Number 37. Dean Martin and Dean Paul Martin.
Gave me a birthday party, and I was more
How does the son of the King of Cool carve his own path? Dean Martin, often dubbed the King of Cool, was a multifaceted entertainer, excelling as a singer, actor, and comedian. His son, Dean Paul Martin, inherited his father's charisma and ventured into various fields. Not only was he a member of the pop group Dino, Desi, and Billy, but he also pursued a career in aviation, becoming a captain in the California Air National Guard. Tragically, Dean Paul died in a military jet crash in 1987 at the age of 35. His diverse pursuits and untimely death added a poignant chapter to the Martin family legacy. Number 36. Jackie Gleason and Geraldine Gleason.
And I went to CBS and I said, I've got to go on next week and apologize to the audience.
When a legendary entertainer's child shuns the spotlight, what stories remain untold? Jackie Gleason, known for his booming voice and larger-than-life persona, was a dominant figure in entertainment. His child, Geraldine Gleason, chose a life away from the limelight, leading to limited public information about her. This decision to remain private contrasts sharply with her father's high-profile career, leaving many aspects of her life shrouded in mystery. Number 35. Bing Crosby and Gary Crosby.
Into the belief that I could be a great criminal lawyer and the drama of the courts of the
Can the son of a crooning legend find his own voice? Bing Crosby's smooth vocals made him an iconic figure in music and film. His son, Gary Crosby inherited his musical talents and ventured into entertainment. However, Gary's relationship with his father was fraught with tension. In his memoir, Gary alleged that Bing was physically and emotionally abusive, painting a starkly different picture from the public's perception of the beloved crooner. This revelation added a controversial layer to Bing Crosby's legacy and highlighted the complexities within their family dynamics. Number 34. Spencer Tracy and John Tracy.
You better not worry so much about tax reduction until we accomplish some of the things we have to accomplish.
What happens when a Hollywood icon's son becomes his silent inspiration? Spencer Tracy, celebrated for his acting prowess, faced personal challenges with his son, John Tracy. John was born deaf, a condition that profoundly impacted Spencer and his wife, Louise. In response, they founded the John Tracy Clinic in 1942, dedicated to supporting children with hearing impairments. This endeavor showcased Spencer's commitment to his family and left a lasting legacy in the field of deaf education. Number 33. Fred McMurray and Robert McMurray.
Thought, my God, no wonder you rode well, because I had a fellow who was doing the writing for me.
What happens when a Hollywood star's son chooses a different path? Fred McMurray, known for classics like My Three Sons and Disney films, was a familiar face in Hollywood. He and his first wife, Lillian Lamont, adopted 2 children, Susan in 1940 and Robert in 1946. Robert, while bearing a resemblance to his father, chose a life away from the Hollywood spotlight. Fred once lamented that Robert went the hippie route via the South Seas to find himself. This divergence highlights the personal choices of celebrity offspring, balancing legacy with individuality. Number 32. Walter Pidgeon and Edna Pidgeon Atkins.
I've chosen the type of work I believe I'm best fitted for. If I have any ability at all, it's in a courtroom.
When a leading man's legacy is carried on behind the scenes, Walter Pidgeon, a commanding presence during Hollywood's golden age, was known for films like Mrs. Miniver. His daughter, Edna Pidgeon Atkins, born in 1924, worked in MGM's animation department before marrying in 1947. While not the acting spotlight, she contributed to the industry in her own way, showcasing the diverse paths taken by children of celebrities. Number 31. Kirk Douglas and Joel Douglas.
Picture called Indian Fighter. As a matter of fact, the first movie I did with my company, Bryna, and the first time Walter...
Behind the scenes of a Hollywood dynasty, Kirk Douglas, with his iconic cleft chin and powerful performances, was a Hollywood titan. His son, Joel Douglas, chose to work behind the scenes as a film producer. Joel co-produced films like The Jewel of the Nile and Romancing the Stone, contributing significantly to the industry without stepping into the acting spotlight. This dynamic showcases the varied roles within Hollywood families. Number 30. Jerry Stiller and Ben Stiller.
Before Ann, Amy, and myself, they showed it in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, where the Farrellys live.
When comedic genius runs in the family, Jerry Stiller, renowned for his roles in Seinfeld and as part of the comedy duo Stiller and Meara, passed his talent and expressive features to his son, Ben Stiller. Ben not only inherited his father's comedic timing, but also became a successful actor, comedian, and filmmaker, starring in hits like Zoolander and Meet the Parents. Their collaboration in films like Zoolander highlights a unique father-son dynamic in Hollywood. Number 29. Robert Downey Sr. and Robert Downey Jr.
To be a king and too committed to be a queen. So I'm a prince. I said that on the...
From indie films to superhero stardom, Robert Downey Sr., an indie film legend known for Putney Swope, had a profound influence on his son, Robert Downey Jr. RDJ took his father's legacy to new heights, becoming a household name with roles in Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes. He once said, "I was raised by a black belt alcoholic." Their relationship reflects the complexities of navigating personal struggles and professional success within a Hollywood dynasty. Number 28. Clint Eastwood and Scott Eastwood.
You know, critics are just like anybody else. They have their opinion, and you hope it's...
A striking resemblance across generations. Clint Eastwood, the epitome of the rugged leading man, has a son, Scott Eastwood, who is often described as his father's clone. Scott has appeared in films like The Longest Ride and Suicide Squad, showcasing his acting chops. He acknowledges the challenges of living up to his father's legacy, stating, "My father's definitely old school, and he raised me with integrity to be places on time, show up, and work hard." The striking physical resemblance and shared profession invite comparisons, but Scott strives to carve out his own identity in Hollywood. Number 27. Denzel Washington and John David Washington.
When I saw my son John David Washington handle my wife.
Can the son of a two-time Oscar winner step out of his father's shadow? John David Washington, son of the illustrious Denzel Washington, not only mirrors his father's commanding presence, but also his acting prowess. Transitioning from a professional football career, John David made a notable impact with his role in Black Klansman. He reflects on his father's influence, stating, "I was inspired by my father's dedication to his craft." Their collaboration in The Piano Lesson, directed by John David's brother Malcolm, underscores the family's deep-rooted commitment to storytelling. Number 26. Will Smith and Jaden Smith.
But at the end of the day, I lost it, and
when the Fresh Prince's son forges his own unique path, what unfolds? Jaden Smith, inheriting his father Will Smith's charisma, has ventured into acting, music, and fashion. The duo's collaboration in The Pursuit of Happiness showcased their on-screen chemistry. Jaden's eclectic style and philosophical musings have set him apart, making him a distinctive figure in entertainment. Will acknowledges their evolving relationship, emphasizing the importance of transparency and vulnerability with his children. Number 25. Tom Hanks and Colin Hanks.
We try to make these movies that do things in this optical poptitude kind of way that no one has ever seen.
Can the son of America's dad capture the same endearing charm? Colin Hanks, bearing a striking resemblance to his father Tom Hanks, has steadily built his acting career. With roles in Fargo and The Good Guys, Colin showcases a range that echoes his father's versatility. He acknowledges the challenges of comparisons, but focuses on honing his craft, stating, "I just try to do good work and hope people enjoy it." Number 24. James Brolin and Josh Brolin.
I think it was in the second year of Welby. I saw this ranch, this ad, and
When rugged good looks and talent span generations, how does the legacy evolve? Josh Brolin, son of James Brolin, exudes a ruggedness reminiscent of his father. With standout performances in No Country for Old Men and as Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Josh has carved a niche with his intense portrayals. He reflects on his lineage, stating, "I learned about professionalism and respect for the craft from my father." Number 23. Donald Sutherland and Kiefer Sutherland.
And it gets violent, and then it gets loving, and then it's an extraordinary thing.
How does the son of a Hollywood force establish his own formidable presence? Kiefer Sutherland, inheriting Donald Sutherland's distinctive features and intensity, gained fame with 24, becoming a television icon. Despite the inevitable comparisons, Kiefer has forged his own path, remarking, "I've always admired my father's work, but I've tried to create my own identity in this industry." Number 22. Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen.
Born in Bermuda, my dad got transferred around. He worked for the National Cash Register Company.
When a legendary actor's son becomes a tabloid fixture, what lies beneath? Charlie Sheen, once the spitting image of his father Martin Sheen, enjoyed early success with Platoon and Wall Street. However, his career took tumultuous turns due to personal struggles. Reflecting on his journey, Charlie stated, "I've had my ups and downs, but my father's support has been unwavering." Number 21. Jack Cassidy and David Cassidy.
All right. If that is true, and it sounds conceivable enough to me, but
When a Broadway star's son becomes a teen idol, what dynamics unfold? Jack Cassidy, celebrated for his charismatic Broadway performances, had a tumultuous relationship with his son, David Cassidy. David, who rose to fame in The Partridge Family, often felt overshadowed by his father's success. Their bond was strained, with David expressing a deep longing for paternal connection. He once reflected, "I was always trying to connect with him, but he was never really there." Jack's struggles with alcoholism further complicated their relationship, leading to a sense of abandonment for David. This complex father-son dynamic underscores the challenges of navigating personal relationships amidst public acclaim. Number 20. Robert Montgomery and Elizabeth Montgomery.
Well, as you put it, it sounds like a glamour ticket, doesn't it?
How does a daughter step out of her father's Hollywood shadow? Robert Montgomery, a distinguished actor and director, was known for his roles in classics like Here Comes Mr. Jordan. His daughter, Elizabeth Montgomery, inherited his talent, becoming a household name with her iconic role in Bewitched. Despite sharing the same industry, Elizabeth carved her own path, distinguishing herself in television. Their relationship was marked by mutual respect, with Elizabeth once noting, "My father taught me the importance of professionalism and dedication." This duo exemplifies a supportive dynamic, with the younger generation building upon the legacy of the former. Number 19. John Mills and Jonathan Mills.
Honestly, was not expecting to be standing here with.
When an acting legend's son chooses a different path, what unfolds? Sir John Mills, renowned for his extensive film career, including Great Expectations, had a son Jonathan Mills, who opted for a life away from the cinematic spotlight. While his sisters, Haley and Juliet Mills, pursued acting, Jonathan chose a more private existence. This decision highlights the diverse paths children of celebrities may take, balancing personal interests with familial legacies. Number 18. Alan Ladd and Alan Ladd Jr.
Tied up in that mother act, you start telling people I'm back home again.
Say, they couldn't get anything out of me with a crow.
Can a producer's vision surpass his father's on-screen legacy? Alan Ladd, famed for his stoic roles in films like Shane, had a son, Alan Ladd Jr., who made a significant impact behind the scenes. As a producer and studio executive, Ladd Jr. greenlit Star Wars, forever changing the cinematic landscape. Reflecting on his father's influence, he stated, "I learned the importance of storytelling from my father, but I wanted to tell those stories from the other side of the camera." This shift from acting to producing underscores the evolving nature of Hollywood dynasties. Number 17. Eddie Albert and Edward Albert.
One of them yelled at me, "Did I hear you say you were coming back?" Then one of the Marines said,
When environmental activism becomes a family legacy. Eddie Albert, known for Green Acres, was not only an actor but also an environmentalist. His son Edward Albert followed in his footsteps, both in acting and activism. Edward starred in films like Butterflies Are Free and was dedicated to environmental causes, often crediting his father for instilling this passion. He once remarked, "My father taught me that our planet is a treasure and it's our duty to protect it." Their shared commitment to the environment highlights a legacy that transcends the screen. Number 16. Robert Walker and Robert Walker Jr.
Now I don't think I have any. I had
Yes, you do.
I had a Buick that was, I think it's gone off the air now.
No, I
Really?
just.
How does the son of a tragic Hollywood figure find his own path? Robert Walker, remembered for his role in Hitchcock's Strangers on a Train, had a tumultuous life, passing away at 32. His son, Robert Walker Jr., pursued acting, appearing in films like Easy Rider. Reflecting on his father's legacy, he shared, "I felt a connection to him through our shared passion for acting, even though our time together was brief." Navigating a career under the shadow of his father's tragic end, Robert Jr. sought to honor his legacy while establishing his own identity in Hollywood. Number 15. George Westmore and Monty Westmore. How does a pioneering makeup artist's legacy influence his descendants? George Westmore, a trailblazer in Hollywood makeup artistry, founded the Westmore family dynasty. His son, Monty Westmore, continued this legacy, contributing to over 75 films and television series since 1950. Notably, Monty was Joan Crawford's personal makeup artist on Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, and served as Paul Newman's makeup artist on 17 films. Reflecting on his family's influence, Monty once said, "There isn't a woman in the world who cannot be made to be more beautiful." This dedication to enhancing beauty underscores the Westmore's family's enduring impact on Hollywood. Number 14. Ozzie Nelson and Ricky Nelson.
Also, I think there's a great danger of those of us who are in the entertainment business and all of a sudden.
When a family sitcom mirrors real life, what dynamics emerge? Ozzie Nelson, a band leader and actor, created and starred in The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, a television series that featured his real-life family. His son, Ricky Nelson, grew up on the show, transitioning from a child actor to a teenage heartthrob and successful musician. Reflecting on his upbringing, Ricky noted, "I was on the set more than I was at home." This unique blending of life and art provided audiences with an intimate look into the Nelson family's dynamics. Number 13, John Wayne and Patrick Wayne.
And when you get that, that more or less ensures a nomination because...
Can the son of a Western icon forge his own path? John Wayne, synonymous with Western films, had a son, Patrick Wayne, who followed him into acting. Patrick appeared in over 40 films, including The Searchers, where he acted alongside his father. Despite the inevitable comparisons, Patrick carved out his own niche in Hollywood. He once remarked, "I never felt overshadowed by my dad. He was always supportive." This supportive relationship allowed Patrick to develop his own identity within the film industry. Number 12, Tony Curtis and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Of this dramatic workshop.
One of your early peers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I left the school.
How does a daughter uphold and redefine a family's acting legacy? Tony Curtis, a matinee idol known for Some Like It Hot, fathered Jamie Lee Curtis, who became a renowned actress in her own right. Jamie Lee gained fame with horror films like Halloween and later showcased her versatility in comedies and dramas. Reflecting on her parents' influence, she stated, "I have a creative life today because of my parents." Her successful career underscores the continuation and evolution of her family's Hollywood legacy. Number 11, Paul Newman and Scott Newman.
When you get in trouble, he's the guy that comes in and points you in the right.
When a father's name casts a long shadow, how does a son cope? Paul Newman, an iconic actor and philanthropist, faced tragedy with his son, Scott Newman. Scott pursued acting but struggled with substance abuse, leading to his untimely death at 28. In response, Paul established the Scott Newman Center to educate about drug abuse. He expressed his grief saying, "The loss of a child is the most painful thing a parent can endure." This initiative reflects Paul's commitment to turning personal tragedy into a force for good. Number 10, James Cagney and James Cagney Jr.
That definition is given in a chapter on art by William Ernest Hocking.
When a legendary actor's son chooses a different path, what unfolds? James Cagney, celebrated for his dynamic performances in films like White Heat, had a son, James Cagney Jr., who opted for a life away from the spotlight. While little is publicly known about James Jr.'s pursuits, it's evident that he chose a path distinct from his father's Hollywood fame. This decision highlights the personal choices faced by children of celebrities in balancing legacy and individuality. Number 9, Gregory Peck and Stephen Peck.
Hopefully agents and producers show up, and then hopefully people will.
How does a war veteran honor his father's legacy? Gregory Peck, celebrated for his role as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, was a father to Stephen Peck, among others. Stephen served as a Marine lieutenant in Vietnam, an experience that profoundly shaped his path. Upon returning, he channeled his efforts into supporting fellow veterans, eventually becoming the CEO and president of U.S. Vets, the nation's largest nonprofit organization dedicated to homeless and at-risk veterans. Reflecting on his father's influence, Stephen noted, "He taught me the importance of integrity and service." While Gregory portrayed moral fortitude on screen, Stephen embodied these principles in his life's work, extending his father's legacy into the realm of social advocacy. Number 8, Robert Mitchum and James Mitchum.
He's absolutely great. Cream of the crop, top of the bottle, A#1, blue ribbon, and drop dead right there.
When a son mirrors his father's iconic presence, what path does he choose? Robert Mitchum, known for his rugged on-screen persona, had a son, James Mitchum, who bore a striking resemblance to him. James ventured into acting, debuting alongside his father in Thunder Road, 1958, where he played his uncle. Despite sharing his father's distinctive features, James carved out his own niche in cinema, appearing in over 30 films, including The Victors, 1963, and Ride the Wild Surf, 1964. Reflecting on his career, James stated, "I wanted to honor my father's legacy while making my own mark." Their collaboration in Thunder Road remains a testament to their familial bond and shared passion for storytelling. Number 7, Melvyn Douglas and Ileana Douglas.
Hey, listen, dumbbell, can't you come up and get our garbage without an argument? Do we have to have a discussion every time we...
How does a granddaughter uphold a family's cinematic legacy? Melvyn Douglas, a distinguished actor of Hollywood's golden age, was the grandfather of Illeana Douglas. Illeana, inheriting her family's artistic inclinations, pursued acting and filmmaking. She gained recognition for her roles in films like Cape Fear, 1991, and Grace of My Heart, 1996. Reflecting on her lineage, Illeana remarked, "Growing up in a family of actors, storytelling was in my blood." Her career honors her grandfather's legacy while showcasing her unique talents in the evolving landscape of cinema. Number 6. Lloyd Bridges and Jeff Bridges.
Needs our attention because we get our oxygen from the ocean too.
When acting talent runs deep, how does a son redefine the family name? Lloyd Bridges, known for his work in Sea Hunt, fathered Jeff Bridges, who became an acclaimed actor in his own right. Jeff's diverse roles from The Big Lebowski in 1998 to Crazy Heart in 2009, for which he won an Academy Award, highlight his versatility. Reflecting on his father's influence, Jeff shared, "Dad taught me the joy of acting and the importance of professionalism." Their shared passion for the craft underscores a family tradition of excellence in performance. Number 5. Henry Fonda and Peter Fonda.
And I want to explain it. About 4 months ago, I had to do a film that played...
How does a son navigate the legacy of a Hollywood icon? Henry Fonda, celebrated for his roles in classics like 12 Angry Men, 1957, was the father of Peter Fonda. Peter forged his own path with the counterculture classic Easy Rider, 1969, which he co-wrote and starred in. Reflecting on his relationship with his father, Peter noted, "We had our differences, but I always respected his dedication to the craft." Their individual contributions have left an indelible mark on American cinema. Number 4. John Carradine and David Carradine.
Best director I've ever worked with, and that's saying a lot because I've worked with some seriously heavy guys.
When a son follows in his father's prolific footsteps, what legacy is built? John Carradine, a versatile actor with an extensive filmography, was the father of David Carradine. David gained fame for his role in the television series Kung Fu from 1972 to 1975 and later in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill series. Reflecting on his father's influence, David stated, "He taught me the importance of versatility and embracing diverse roles." Their careers highlight a shared commitment to the performing arts, each leaving a unique imprint on the industry. Number 3. Walter Huston and John Huston.
If you ever become a director or a writer, please find a good part for your old man. He did all right.
Walter Huston, a distinguished actor of the early 20th century, transitioned from vaudeville to Broadway before making his mark in Hollywood. His son, John Huston, initially pursued writing but found his true calling in directing. Their collaboration on The Treasure of the Sierra Madre from 1948 was historic. Walter's portrayal of the grizzled prospector earned him an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, while John's direction and screenplay adaptation garnered him Oscars for both. This achievement marked the first time a father and son won Academy Awards for the same film. Reflecting on their partnership, John remarked, "It was a unique experience directing my father. His talent elevated my vision." Their legacy continued with John's daughter, Angelica Huston, making them the first family with 3 generations of Oscar winners. Number 2. Kirk Douglas and Michael Douglas.
A dog dies at 14. Tortoises live...
Kirk Douglas, renowned for his intense performances in classics like Spartacus, 1960, was a dominant force in Hollywood's golden age. His son, Michael Douglas, not only inherited his father's acting prowess, but also ventured into producing, achieving significant success. Despite their shared profession, their relationship was complex. Michael once candidly shared, "My relationship with my father was not particularly good. He was a very self-centered man." However, as time passed, they reconciled, with Michael honoring his father's legacy while establishing his own. Their bond deepened in later years, culminating in Michael presenting Kirk with an honorary Oscar in 1996, symbolizing both familial and professional respect. Hollywood legacies are full of surprises. Who shocked you the most? Drop a comment below. And if you loved this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a story. More jaw-dropping Hollywood tales coming soon.